This is our Spare 76 saying hello to you, my MS family out there. I read something that Andrea from Australia, you Aussies rock, by the way. Yet to meet an Aussie I don't like. And she sent me this link to a person, obviously a PhD, that wrote some kind of scathing remarks about Dr. Zamboni, about how small his research, his case study was, and how a real academic or a real scientist would look at his findings and laugh at him, That's my pretentious, I think I'm better than you. You fool. Laugh. But it was actually, by the time I got done reading the article, I felt sorry for the person who thinks that they're a writer. Because one of the obvious things when you write any kind of a review on anything, an article or whatever, is it helps to read what you're writing about. Like, I talk a lot, but I read about what I'm going to talk about. And I make little mistakes. I did make one. Talking to somebody, and I'll address it at the end of the video. But I can misspeak sometimes, and I'm human. But this person who wrote this article was basically just pissing on the parade of people who have some hope in Dr. Zamboni's research. And if that's your goal in life, just to piss on people's parades, that's fine. Just stay away from the parade. Don't go to it. If you just, this is the biggest breakthrough in MS research since I've been diagnosed in 2003. I venture to say it's probably the most important finding on multiple sclerosis, other than when the disease was discovered by a French neurologist. Anyway, I'll digress. I get off on tangents sometimes, you'll have to forgive me. But I read this article, and she's saying, well, I say she. I don't know why I say she. I just got I don't know why I think it's a woman. But anyway, Freudian thing maybe. No. She starts writing about Dr. Zamboni's research and saying, he used this really small control group, and he used this to, there was like with a drug, when you're marketing or when you're researching a drug, you'll do a double blind. And all double blind means is that the doctor nor the patient knows if the person's getting the real drug or the placebo. Well, you can't do that with this because Dr. Zamboni was intelligent enough and researched well enough to be able to identify these stenosed veins. So he did have a control group, actually. He had a small group of people. It was a small clinical trial, but he had a small group of people with clinically defined MS. Okay? And all three of the major types, the relapsing, remitting, secondary progressive, and primary progressive. And then he had another control group with other neurological diseases like Parkinson's, myasthenia gravis, whatever. And then he had another group of healthy subjects in the same age range. And what he did was he did the Doppler on all these people. And lo and behold, the Doppler revealed on the people with MS that they had the strictures, the stenosis, the stenosed veins. And the people with the other neurological diseases didn't have it, and the people in the healthy control group didn't have it. So he saw an impeded blood flow through a high-tech Doppler. So the next thing that he did was an MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, with venography, which is basically putting a contrast dye and looking at specific, all these veins, because it's very vascular, the whole head and chest region, obviously, because the heart and the brain and the lungs are all working in unison, in concert to oxygenate the brain. The blood goes through the pulmonary vein. It gets oxygenated. Anyway, to make a long story short, a lot of blood's going on up in here. Okay, so there's a lot of vascularity going up in here, and that's basically where he started looking. And to have a kinked vein or a vein to not be perfectly straight, or to have like a bend in it, that's not abnormal. That's, physiologically we are snowflakes. There are no two human beings the same. in my opinion. There's a rough neighborhood of where things are supposed to be, but gravity, age, there's a lot of things that take their toll on us. Anyway, see, I'm getting off on a tangent. It's not like he just did this to 3 people and said, "Oh, it's worked." This was a professional and scientific study, and the way this lady wrote the article, it sounded like she was just basically bashing Dr. Zamboni and trying to take the hope away from some of my MS family. And to borrow a line from my hero, I would say, it's better that you had a millstone tied to your neck and thrown to the depths of the sea than to destroy the faith of my little ones. So that's kind of where I'm going there. There's no reason for someone to want to destroy your hope and your faith, because trust me, this is the real deal. The only reason it's been a small clinical trial is that's how it starts out. It starts out small, and then you get some good results, and then you expand it. It is going to take some time. We're all impatient, but it takes time. So stay with it. Keep doing your current treatments. Keep doing what you know works for you with your multiple sclerosis. But just know that this procedure will be effective. And if done right, if done according to Dr. Zamboni's criteria of, using the same equipment and the same method, this is going to help a lot of people. And I have to talk about, with one person I was actually wrong about. They were talking about smoking and cold. And I had said that the peripheral veins are affected in cold and smoking. What I meant to say is it's only in cold when the peripheral veins constrict. But what the question goes back is, why does cold help people with MS? And the common, theory's been that we can't regulate our temperature very well from damage to our brain, thermoregulatory processes. However, the vascular thing's starting to really shed some light on why we do better with cold. And it makes perfect sense. MS research says smokers have a worse course of MS. Smoking does constrict the major arteries and veins and the peripheral ones in your hands and feet and arms and stuff. As well, smoking constricts your major branches of veins and blood vessels. Cold, on the other hand, does not. What it basically messes with is the periphery. It will constrict the blood vessels. But what your body does when you're in extreme cold, like in hypothermia, is yes, it constricts the blood vessels, the peripheral ones, so that it may dilate the ones inside. That's how it salvages the major organs. Like in surgery, if you have someone who's dying and they're failing horribly, and you're trying to save their life, they're on death's door, they'll use a medication called Levophed. And Levophed, what it does is it breaks down all of the it constricts, very, very much so, constricts all the peripheral blood vessels to the point to where your outer tissues start to die, so that it may force all of the blood and dilate all of the blood to feed the brain, the lungs, all the major organs. And cold, that's how cold affects us. Cold does constrict the outer, but cold will dilate your vessels, everything's drawn in to protect your organs. So that's for the hoo-hee, I think it's the name. But anyway, I'm going over my time, so that's my video. That's my rant against the article writer against Dr. Zamboni. Have a great day. God bless. Bye.